So welcome back to this series on the principles of power. I'm going to be talking about the third principle of 8, and this is the principle that power attracts deception. So one of the things about being powerful that we often, I think, get wrong is that power is all about the position you occupy, how high up the chain you are. But really, a better measure of power is the degree to which other people put their self-interest in the service of your own self-interest. So they do more for you than they do for themselves. And that, for me, is one of the more critical measures of what power is. However, this idea that other people will put their self-interest lower than yours doesn't mean that they get rid of their self-interest altogether. I don't think self-interest is something that it's very easy for human beings to suppress at all, partly because I think it begins in the childhood need for survival. Over time that evolves, I guess, into self-interest, but self-interest never completely goes away. So even if you find yourself in the service of somebody more powerful than you, your boss, for example, it's not as if you will completely suppress your self-interest. In fact, you will find sort of cunning and canny ways of maintaining your self-interest, but not so much that it becomes obvious that you're doing that, or perish the thought that your self-interest will look like is something you're serving more than their self-interest. In other words, you've got to look like you're doing more for your boss than you are doing for yourself. Now, one of the key ways in which people do that is through flattery. So flattery can be defined as preserving or manifesting or representing the self-interest of the person you're flattering, while disguising your own. In other words, you're doing something that sounds good for them, but you're doing it because your ulterior motive is that you want them to like you, and so your own self-interest gets served. But of course, the trouble with flattery, and this happens, the more powerful you become, the more flattered you will be, is that by definition, flattery is a distortion of the truth. It's an editing of reality, and therefore at its heart is a kind of deception. So as your power grows, so the likelihood of being deceived grows along with it. And that's something that the powerful often forget. They think they're getting the truth when in fact they're getting a varnished version of it designed to make them feel better. So that's the third principle of power, that you can certainly grow your power, but as your power grows, the risk of being deceived grows along with it. So power attracts deception.